we go now?
We just fucking weighed in, boys. I was 83.5 kilos. Apparently I'm fighting a catch weight of 89 kilos. So I'm going to be fighting some huge cunt. But that's good, because I'll have the speed advantage. Good luck to him. It's about 11 o'clock. Maybe 3.5 hours till I fight. And I saw so many people in there, nervous as fuck, just scrolling their Instagram, zapping all their fucking dopamine, doing short little breaths, you know, overthinking shit. Yeah, all the fucking practice of meditation, breath work, putting everything together so that right now I feel fucking comfortable. I feel like I'm going on a holiday to Bali. So it's fucking grouse.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's go, Todd!
I can see nothing but what their eyes see, you know.
Psychedelic music.
I'm mad scientist.
Alrighty then, fight number 1 in the books. Holy shit, what an experience. That was fucking hectic. I highly recommend, if any of you guys are thinking about having an amateur fight, I highly recommend it. It was fucking awesome. Especially in the way that we live in today's society, not being able to do much stuff anymore. To get to go in there and feel like you're fighting for your life, it was so sick. It's something that you definitely want to experience. Highly recommend it. But there is a few things that I want you to consider before signing up. The overall experience was a little bit different to what I thought it was going to be like. I expected that I would get into this killer state, be a wild animal, and I would just get in there and going for blood. But it's quite the opposite, because it's a long day beforehand where your body, your subconscious, is getting ready for this fight. And all you're trying to do is not drain your energy throughout the day. You're just trying to store your energy for when you actually have to fight. So The whole day is really about calming yourself down. You want to have a good relationship with your breath so that you can be taking these long exhales rather than short little breaths and overloading your nervous system. You just want to stay calm throughout the day. The mindset that I got into for the fight was very, very calm. I was listening to relaxing music before going out to fight because all your body is doing is just getting amped up and tensed, and you just have to try to relax it so that you can get in there and just flow. The fight before mine, I'm sitting ringside with my coach getting ready, and the guy fighting got head kicked, down, out, fight over, crowd going crazy. And I'm just looking around knowing that I'm getting in there next, thinking, wow, this is getting real quick. Holy smokes. And I looked across and I could see my opponent jumping up and down, getting ready. And he just looked like this huge bloke that was made out of stone. I wasn't shitting myself. It was just an intense feeling. The energy in the ring was different as well to what I expected. You do this thing where you seal off the ring. So you put one hand on your head and you walk along the ring. You do a full lap around. And my coach explained to me that it's basically sealing your spiritual energy inside the ring so that you're just locked in. It's just you two in there. Two spirits colliding. It kind of drowns out everything else. You still hear the crowd going crazy in the background. You're trying to tune into what your coaches are saying, but it's really just you two feeling each other out. The feeling post-fight was gratitude. So thankful to get out of there healthy, proud of myself and my opponent. We both got to put on a pretty good fight. Might sound a bit cliche, but whether I had a won or lost in there, I don't think it would have made a difference, to be honest. You're so proud of yourself for taking on that challenge. Honestly, if he had a won, I don't think it would have changed the way I felt about it. I was fucking pumped after that. To put yourself through that kind of experience and come out on the other side, you definitely feel like a better human for it. So basically what I learned from the day is that there's really two fights. There's the first fight, which is psychological. It's you versus you in the locker room. And believe me, I saw a few people that lost their fight before they even got in the ring. Throughout the day, you have these thoughts in your head. What could happen? What could go wrong? And then you go back to the present moment. It can easily get out of control if you let it. So you need to have a solid understanding of how to control what you pay attention to. You have to be in control of your mind. You have to have a relationship with your breath so that you know how to calm your nervous system down. A lot of people are doing these ones throughout the day. Oh, I watched my opponent hitting pads. Oh, he looks really good on the pads. I'm getting really nervous. Saying all of these type of things, that's just going to send you down a really bad path. I was quite surprised to hear some of the things that were coming out of people's mouths. I was like, why would you even entertain that thought? For me, everything was just about positivity. Even these feelings of butterflies in the stomach, I wasn't ever going to acknowledge that they were nerves. I don't believe calling anything nervous energy is ever going to be helpful. Even if it is a real thing, if it doesn't help me and my mission, then I'm just not going to acknowledge it. When I was getting those feelings of butterflies in the stomach, all I was telling myself was, sweet, that's the engine warming up, and having a loving relationship with yourself. And if you can win that battle in the locker room, it already puts you so far ahead of the competition. Once you get into the ring, it's just you versus your opponent, and you're just trying to figure each other out. The main fight, especially for your first amateur fight, is the battles in the locker room. They were pretty hectic. I was so lucky to have really good coaches. My coaches are amazing, and they're really professional. These are guys who, they're not making money being there on their Sunday. And there was 3 coaches we had for our crew. In the warm-up, we'd have a coach there to do shadow boxing with. So it's very structured. He's there. All right, we're going to do 3 2-minute rounds of shadow boxing. In between each round of shadow boxing, he's saying, okay, I want you to focus on long exhales, stay calm. And then you go from that coach to another one. You start hitting pads together. And they're drilling positive things into your head. So my coach, he always had the right things to say. He said to us that, fighting, it's such a small part of your life. And you don't get many of these days. You don't get to fight on many days of your entire life. So just enjoy it. just really have a great experience. Every single emotion that you feel throughout the day, it's such a gift. You don't get to do this for very long, so really enjoy it. And that just made me feel so calm throughout the day. I really got to just sit back and think, wow, it's such a privilege to be here. I'm so lucky. And I just had nothing but gratitude in my head throughout the day. He gave me very, very good advice. He said, in that first round, I want you to just be very relaxed. I want you to focus on your defense and just throw fundamental shots. Don't try to land combos, just throw single shots. Stay relaxed, because this fight, it's going to go one of two ways. You can either stay relaxed, do what I say, and then build into the fight rounds 2 and 3 and have a good first fight, or you can go out there and you can forget about everything and just swing, and it's going to be a horrible experience in there rounds 2 or 3, because you're going to be drained and you're going to have a big dude coming after you, and that's the worst thing that could ever happen. I would not recommend this experience unless you've got good coaches, because when you do get put into the ring and it's just you and him or you and her, it's such a unique experience. And if you're not in good hands, you might just fucking crumble when you get in there. I think if I didn't have good coaches in there, I might have crumbled. I think in that whole fight, I had 3 attacks. I just had my left kick, a jab, cross, and maybe a hook. And that's all we did the whole fight. Just kept it so basic. That's all you need to do in your first fight. There's so much adrenaline and so much stuff going on that your mind kind of goes blank and you just go back to your raw fundamentals. Oh, it's also just a crazy thing to experience. There's this weird feeling of energy, right? Your coach, they're yelling to you instructions. So you can feel this energy of vibrations coming from your coaches flowing through your body, and then in an instant your mind is taking what they're saying and then trying to use it in a physical sense, and you can kind of feel this wave of energy flowing from your coach's mouth through you onto your opponent. It was awesome. It was fucking awesome. I highly recommend it. I think I've broken my foot. That's probably the only thing you can see there. Yeah, she's a bit swollen, so sorry, boss, but I had to take a day off work for that one. My strength and conditioning coach didn't give me a day off though. So yeah, we'll do upper body. You don't need a rest day. Look at that. That's why I love him so much. The key takeaways, you get to decide how you interpret the way you feel. You get to decide whether these feelings are scary, nervous energy or whether it's positive. You need to be in control of how you think. Highly recommend getting into meditation and Wim Hof breathing, because that stuff works. You learn to take control of your mind. You can pay attention to whatever you want. There's other people in the fight game that haven't learned that there's you and then there's your thoughts. For some people, it's just one thing. So when they start thinking about what could go wrong in the fight, that's them thinking that. Whereas someone who's practiced meditation, you can just look at that thought as a separate thing. And you're like, you don't have to pay attention to it. You just let it drift by and you just stay focused. That is probably the biggest key to success in your first amateur fight. I would be very careful with the words that you use as well. I heard a lot of people just saying over and over again how nervous they are, how good their opponent looks on the pads, how scary everything is. All of these words are programming your physiology. You're programming yourself to be scared. You're taxing your nervous system without even needing to. Just learning the psychological side of this will help a lot. Then the last thing is, have you been hit before? I'm sure all of you, maybe this is you yourself, but you know people that grew up with brothers or sisters the same age and they were just rough on each other. They beat each other up all the time and they know how to get hit and not panic. They're used to it. Whereas there's people like myself. I just grew up with a little sister. I was never getting hit as a kid. I'm not a rough kid. So for me, getting hit is kind of a big deal. And it's taken a long time in sparring. I've had to adapt a lot to getting hit. In the fight, if it's Muay Thai, fair chance you're going to get hit. Even when you're checking kicks, they're still going to fucking hurt because you haven't felt a kick with that much power before. It's not like sparring. You know, when you're kicking full ball, that's going to be a whole nother experience. So if you're going to cop it and start panicking, it's not going to go well. You need to know how to get hit. You need to condition yourself over and over again so that you can handle that sort of stuff. Last but not least, probably train longer than you think you should for your first fight. Unless you're really tough, which a lot of guys that do go in fights are tough. I think you can go a long way if you're a real tough, strong-minded person and your coach puts together a good plan. You can probably get into a fight a lot quicker than someone that's been raised like I have. I'm just a normal kid, grew up with a little sister. My dad didn't beat me or anything like that. I was pretty soft. So for me, it took a lot longer to get ready for this because there's just more conditioning you have to do. It's just an exposure thing. If you're not used to getting hit a lot, then you need to get yourself ready. You'd rather be over-prepared for your first fight than under-prepared. Far out, I'm excited for any of you guys. If you do decide to have an amateur fight, whether it's Muay Thai, boxing, even like a jiu-jitsu comp, I highly recommend it. It was such a good experience and it's taught me so much. It really has humbled me. I came out of that fight just so grateful for how good life is. When you go into that primal state and you realize that every fucking day is just such a blessing. You should wake up and do things out of love rather than hate. It sounds so counterintuitive that you would go get into a fight and it would make you more gentle, but it really does. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll keep the show rolling. Boys, love you, and girls, see ya.